Hello there, my name is Creepy Trucky, and we have OBS up. This video is about me getting used to OBS. And with that, welcome to Mother Chicken Siamese. And I am Creepy Trucky, and the show is Talk and Draw. Now, previously on Talk and Draw, I've sketched out a Nebula from the MCU, and we filled in colors underneath the sketch. And this is the result previously, and since then I've done some painting on top of that, and this is what I came up with. And as you can see, with some guidance with the light here, you can show how the facial features are shaded. And I think I'm quite satisfied with this painting of Nebula, and I'm just going to carry on and start painting the background for this panel. While I work on these stairs over here, the steps of the Guardians of the Galaxy spaceship, I'm gonna talk about freedom versus fear. Excuse me. In particular, something about a novel I read some time ago, actually way over 10 years ago, written by Michael Crichton, entitled The State of Fear. Now, the book is about how the powers that be try to keep the people afraid of whatever, basically. Like back in the Cold War, people were afraid of the communist threat, and then after that, after the Cold War was over, people stopped being afraid of the environmental disaster. Yeah, State of Fear was a little bit anti-environmentalist. Basically, Michael Crichton is saying that the people are crying about global warming and climate change catastrophe. Gee whiz, I need to learn how to speak. Is actually fear-mongering for the sake of gaining political power. Flashback to the current day. Well, State of Fear was written and published, I think, 2009, maybe a couple of years before that, 2008. I can't remember. But 10 years later, we are, and well, there is a scientific consensus there's a very strong correlation between climate change and human activity and basically human carbon emissions. There is still an argument to be made for the fact that people has been using that to try to gain political clout. A certain Miss Greta Thunberg comes to mind. Am I speaking clearly? Greta Thunberg. Right. And whereas, while there's still quite a lot of debate about that, because a lot of people, there's some claim to be on the far right, disagree with the climate science consensus. And they, well, do I get to say that? Never. Moving on. Now, basically, freedom versus fear. State of Fear. Good grief, I've gone off topic, haven't I? It's kind of hard to talk while you're drawing, and to get more practice. Anyways, the main subject, the thing that's most in our face at the moment is the certain beer bug. How the fear of the beer bug is affecting our freedom. Basically, with the quarantine and stay-at-home orders, the isolation orders. And some people are voicing concern that people that are out and about in defiance of the quarantine orders, although they are not seemingly not posing a threat to anyone's safety and not doing anything that would transmit the beer bug, are getting penalized, and that is a violation of civil rights, because these people are just trying to exercise their freedom of movement without posing any harm to others, because they're taking precautions not to be a transmission threat, and yet they are being punished by the law simply for the fact of not obeying the quarantine order, which in the United States people argue are not constitutional, meaning it's not legal to begin with. And that is concerning because it's a sign that the government is trying to exert control over the people and violate using emergency powers. Now, having said that, the analogy of the One Ring comes to mind. When I say the analogy, I'm referring to the meme, whereby the current situation, which illustrates the current situation. If you're not familiar, the meme is based on the scene in The Lord of the Rings, where the One Ring was about to be destroyed in the introduction of that movie. You see Elnor and... no, not Elnor, Elrond. Oh my god, did I say Elnor? Jeez. No, Elrond and Isildur went to Mount Doom to toss the ring into the fire, but Isildur declined to do so. Here, the analogy is Isildur represents the governments of the world, and the One Ring represents the emergency powers, and they are being summoned to combat the threat of the coronavirus, and of what and how people are willing to take that hit in their civil liberties is because of the fear of the virus. And well, this is the part where I get lots of words, is like because I can't really logically explain the fear of the coronavirus. And while I'm thinking about that, we're taking a look at the letters I'm painting in the background. It doesn't look good. It's too flat. I mean, we know the ladder is in front of a bulkhead or something. Well, I have to paint it in front of a bulkhead or something because it's just not going to work if I paint it against another background. That's just too much work, and I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to have to take in this little structure here with more paint. Oops, a daisy. And get this out. Does the background look too busy? Anyways, back to the meme of Isildur. The ring represents the emergency powers, and Isildur represents the various governments of the various countries all around the world. That have the executive emergency powers, and Elrond is basically saying, throw it into the fire. The emergency is over. We don't need those powers anymore. We should give freedom back to the people. And Isildur says, no. He wants to hang on to the power, and he takes a One Ring, and hangs on to it, which of course leads to tragedy. Nah, that's a pretty apt analogy. It's a very great meme. There's one more topic I would like to talk about, which says frivolous laws. No, not frivolous lawsuits, frivolous laws. And what do I mean by frivolous laws? Well, basically, all these emergency powers, you can consider them to be frivolous laws, because do these laws of emergency powers have any real value? Are they really going to save that many people's lives? People's lives, we should really think we'll do anything to save people's lives, but we all know that's not true. At some point, we just don't make all sorts of laws to prevent casualties. That's not practical in many ways, and the real reason why these laws are allowed to be passed, where people will support these laws, is because of the fear of the people. The people have fear a certain threat, and then they allow these emergency powers to be passed. And I've gone off topic a bit. Now, I'm basically drawing the girders of the cockpit of the spaceship. They're not very accurate. I'm gonna bring up this is the frame guide, and you can see it. And I think that's good enough. But they don't need to be too accurate. It's not gonna be a super high quality, what do you call it? Super high quality background, because the foreground is the interest here. We're just gonna fill in these black areas. We can fill that up later with art of a space view, and I'll continue painting these girders. And thanks for listening to me talking. If you're actually watching this video, thank you very much. I'm still learning how to figure out how to use this OBS thingy here. Alright, have a good day, everybody.